Alright, should be recording. I just want to see the file. I don't have that folder open at the moment. There it is. Alright, so back in Siege of Centauri, as the thumbnails shows, and just quickly transfer it over. I'm gonna leave it muted, the audio muted for a little bit though. Wait, oh, I forgot to do that. There we go. Alright, so yeah, because this is the week between Computex and E3, I feel not so stressed about all the news to cover, although yesterday I had 10 news items alone I needed to write up, or felt I should write up, including one of them concerning this game. And here, let me now unmute it so you can hear it. So yeah, it's Siege of Centauri, and it has hit beta 2, which I wonder if that's why, because I don't recall seeing that there was an update last week. But it would make sense if it's, hey, we got a milestone coming out, we're gonna skip this week and everything will be next week. And number of changes, as I hope we call them red, some are, one is like a new mission. They keep giving me reasons to go back and replay old ones. So yeah, I'll just, and that, one of them is this. You now select what it is you want to bring. Those are the ones currently selected. The Icarus Sam is not selected, since, well, I don't think there's any air units here. But we can, I've not gone through any of this, so we can put in upgrade points. I did see that this was in the screenshots, but yeah. Oh, that'd be very nice. Buckshot rounds. Eee. Oh, that goes. Don't beat that. That'd be nice. I rarely get the chance to actually upgrade them, so about that. That could be good. This is the one that it shoots through shields and is the rapid shots. It's not that big cannon that I actually don't have listed here anymore. Well, that could be nice. Although, oh yeah, I guess it would be good. All right. So, okay, so it's one or the other. Which, yeah, this can be one quick point and use. It seems. Well, oh no, you can't. Okay. So you just can't select multiple at the same time. Got it. Let's oh, no, I think, just in case, because it is sometimes pull these out, but, see, what would be nice is if you got the information here telling you what this week to. just... It had seemed like some of these were kind of arbitrary. Their positioning, so I'm just looking since I can easily compare them now. So great over here. Let's do it that way. Alright, so yeah, sorry. That's one of the things that got added with Beta 2. Okay. Yeah, so they can come from all... Okay. Alright. So... I will do that. I mean, I've already done that in other videos too. Alright, that I may try to also be adding cross-save stuff. So you will be able to, whatever platform you are on, the consoles, and you got a lot of them. The vaults. So I'm not entirely sure. Hey, 46. Although true, these may have been reset. So yeah, I'm not really sure on that, but it was still, that when I saw it was that's significant news. I'll write that up, even though I have actually no connection to Bungie or to Activision. Which is also a little bit of news there. The upcoming Call of Duty Modern Warfare game, not the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare, a new one, will have ray tracing in it. Though I don't recall if it's set for what. View shadows or reflections, because like Battlefield 5, I think that's right, had it for reflections, whereas like Shadow the Tomb Raider has it for shadows. And then Metro Exodus has it for the global illumination. Hey, you did remember some of them. What changed? Oh, the Minos cannon. Oh, okay. So that is good. I do like that. It is one upgrade point per thing, which... Okay, maybe not. It's one upgrade point per slot that you have. So in theory, you could have that are automatically put in. Like the Icarus Sam isn't for some reason. So that would suggest then that like if I removed that one, yeah. So then I could. Okay. But yeah, I like that. So in theory, of the ones that it just throws in there, you could have it that have one upgrade point in each. That is what. And it needs to actually. I kind of lost track of. I know it was the Call of Duty thing with the ray tracing being in there, and using DXR. So while the RTX graphics cards from NVIDIA will have that hardware acceleration, technically any DXR supporting game has supporting graphics cards, which would include the GTX 1060, 1070, 1080, 1080 Ti, the Pascal Titan, and the Volta Titan, and also the GTX 16 series would all be able to have it enabled, but it doesn't have the special hardware acceleration. That also reminds me, I think I finished writing the Shadow of the Tomb Raider performance analysis, which includes looking at how the ray tracing performs on the 1070 and 1080 I have. I'm figuring I will do the formatting and such, put that up when this video is encoding, re-encoding. I will say this much though, those two both performed a lot better than I was expecting with the ray tracing. But it's also where I was collecting data is not necessarily the best place to look. Sorry. Yeah, that's just how that is. I need to make sure I mention that in the conclusion that I think about it. I don't remember if I did or not. Oh, Call of Duty is also getting the adaptive, NVIDIA's adaptive shading thing. So there will be reduced shading rates in some locations. Okay, so there's that path, this path. Alright, starting there. That's gonna be coming down back. I know it's really like be watching a game on YouTube and then be able to click a button and start playing the game as well. And we now know some things, like you will have to purchase the games, sort of. Like there will be an account that games would be attached to, game ownership would be attached to. With the free version of Stadia, because yes, there will be a free version, that's how you get access to games, period. With the Pro version, which will be $10 a month, you get some free games, and you also get a discount on game purchases, at least some. No information on that yet, but we know that because the Founders Pack, Founders Edition? Something like that, which is $130 and gets you 3 months of the Pro membership along with a Buddy Pass that is 3 months of the Pro membership as well, that you can give to someone else, and a controller and a Chromecast Ultra, Chromecast Ultra. Those will be shipping in November, so we know the thing itself is going to be launching in November. What else is there? Talk about number of games coming to, including one that, well, no, more than one. Baldur's Gate 3 was announced. I don't have any news information on that. And Darksiders Genesis, which is an action RPG, action adventure RPG thing, top down, basically. You know, that classic Diablo style. But Darksiders, and you will be playing as Strife, who's the fourth horseman that we have not had the opportunity to play as yet, but we did get to see him in Darksiders 3. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I did see one place identified as a spin-off, which makes sense. I don't think that they would not have a Darksiders 4, I guess is the way to put it, and not have that be more in the genre of the other games. Okay. Trying to think what else. Does anything else have that? Let me quickly look. Oh yeah, they released comparison images for F1 2019 versus 2018. So you can see the graphics. You can change there. I guess that really is the other main thing, at least from yesterday. Oh yeah, Noctua announced, there was finally a press release from Noctua about various things that they had at Computex, including a fanless heatsink, which is only a prototype, so they'll probably be redesigning it, but it still was handling a 9900K. That was neat. THQ Nordic announced SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, which was so funny to me because the THQ Nordic is doing, and today's the third day, a game announcement every day for 3 days ahead of E3. I assume there'll be more E3. And the first one, somebody told me that, yeah, that's going to be in a Darksiders game. And then what is it? SpongeBob SquarePants. I love it. So that is a remaster of a game from, was it 2003 when I looked it up? I don't remember. A while ago. I know there's also rumor there's going to be another Red Faction game. Maybe that'll be today's announcement, because Friday's announcement, because it is ahead of that. Like, I mean, I'm doing this in the morning. Yeah, Noctua showed off a number of things, including they showed off the 140mm version of the A series, which the NFA 12x25 X25. That is that new 120mm fan of theirs that is very powerful for its size. Oh yeah, there was that too to talk about. But yeah, keeping on the Noctua, they also announced that there's going to be an updated version or versions of the D15, including at least one that will be, well, there's the D15 and D15S, and I'm not entirely sure if we'll still see a new version of the D15 and a new version of the D15S, or if it's unified. I'm not sure what the difference is. It might just be like number of fans. I honestly just do not remember the differences. But a version for TR4, the Threadripper socket, is coming, which should, and Epic socket, it'll work on both, which sorry, does also kind of lend credence along with the whole Lisa Su, head of AMD, saying no, Threadripper is coming. We just don't have it now. That Threadripper isn't dead, folks. Please. But do have a couple pieces of AMD news as well. Then there's something I want to do at the end of this stream, of this video. I just haven't said when exactly I want to do it. But I do want to quickly mention these two. Yeah, probably be best to stop here. But this, the other thing I want to do doesn't have me in this. So, yeah. So AMD and Samsung have formed a partnership, which some people aren't sure exactly what it means. The partnership could be at minimum a just licensing agreement, because Samsung is doing work on their own GPUs for the smartphones and such, and they want to make sure they can't get sued, so they got to deal with AMD. That's at the low end. At the higher end, it is AMD and Samsung are going to be working together, or Samsung, a little lower, Samsung is getting access to some of AMD's IP to design a new GPU using it. Not that it's just, hey, we're covering our butts from lawsuits, but hey, no, we're actually using this stuff. Or they are directly working together. The thing is that this is going to use the RDNA, which reminds me of another thing to talk about, the RDNA architecture that was announced with Navi at Computex. We may see that coming to smartphones, Samsung smartphones at least, which is potentially significant. And just AMD getting a presence in that market. And also the press release was talking about how smartphones and mobile devices. Maybe we'll see AMD also getting a larger presence into the ultralight laptops, because that is something that Intel dominates in. Where was it? Somewhere I saw someone talking about that. How, yes, currently the Intel AMD competition, AMD is killing it with desktops. Intel really doesn't have much to compete there, because AMD's got the core count. Zen 2 is looking like it may be able to take some performance away, but also the pricing. AMD's doing very, very strongly there. But in laptops that Intel makes a lot of money off of, AMD doesn't have as much to offer there. The APUs are very powerful, but they don't have the, ultra low power processors that Intel does. And then there's also data center, but that's another beast as well. So who knows? Maybe that's something. Maybe that partnership will help them develop things that can go into those things and compete with Intel there. I also saw a rumor that supposedly Nvidia is going to go to Samsung for their 7nm GPUs and not TSMC, which that would be a big hit to TSMC, unless AMD is like, well, that's okay, just ramp up production of our stuff on 7nm. But part of the speculation was that Samsung is already going to be on the extreme ultraviolet, whereas TSMC is not over to that method yet. They're still using the deep ultraviolet, but it takes a lot more components, a lot more steps to the process to get down to 7nm, whereas extreme ultraviolet would be much simpler to do, but it's also much harder as a technology to achieve, so that's why TSMC isn't there yet. But I'm pretty sure that they do have things testing already on it. Like, they are able to produce some things, it's just not mass production ready yet. But also, because I mentioned RDNA, I do want to mention something that, if you go over to Phoronix and look in the forums, specifically for the AMD is aiming for Radeon RX 5700 Navi support for Linux 5.3, and Mesa 19.2. That was the news. If you look at the forum thread for it, there is an actual AMD employee who works on their Linux stuff in the forums that explains something that is important concerning RDNA, because some people had been speculating that RDNA is not substantially different from GCN, that it's in Navi will be a hybrid of GCN and RDNA. he explains, and this is actually somewhat important. GCN means more than one thing, basically. It had been the actual architecture, but it's also the ISA, the instruction sets, like how x86 is an instruction set. But it was at one point an architecture, so it's just, but GCN keeps being applied to it as though, applied to things as though it is the architecture. In like how when we talk about, like, saying Vega is GCN. By this argument, Vega is not necessarily, and Vega is not the GCN microarchitecture. Hawaii might, was it Hawaii? The old 7970, the original GCN GPUs, those might have been the GCN microarchitecture, but by now, it's not the GCN microarchitecture. It's a different microarchitecture, but it still uses the GCN instruction set. And he does explain here that RDNA is still using the GCN ISA, the GCN instruction set. It would be built upon. They would have added things to it, so it's not like it's, still got all. It's an identical instruction set to before. But, so it'll basically run the same code, but the actual hardware is different. That's what it seems like he's explaining here. I'm look at, and he did try to use an analogy that, like how both the Bulldozer series of architectures and Zen are both x86 64, AMD 64, supporting CPUs. Sorry, they're using that ISA, they're using that instruction set, but Bulldozer and Zen are both completely different designs. Zen was a ground-up rebuild, was a ground-up new processor. I think Bulldozer may have been as well at its time, but it's just, they're both x86 64 processors, though. Because they're both using that instruction set. What he was trying to point out here is that that's how GCN exists now. It is the instruction set, it isn't just an architecture. And so RDNA will still work with it, but internally, the hardware may be quite different. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if it may have some new instructions that are unique to it. We'll just have to see. And hopefully we will learn about that before long. Another thing, and I should actually, let me start getting this stuff ready for the other thing, is that it was spotted five code names from AMD having gone through the South Korean Radio Regulatory Administration, something like that, RRA, which I'm guessing that's akin to the FCC here in the United States, in that a lot of electrical devices have to be run through that to make sure they're not emitting any electromagnetic signals that may interfere with others. So you'll see, like, the FCC logo on a whole bunch of things. That's like, why? Because, well, that's to say that's not going to interfere with other things. But these 5 codes all seem to be for Navi, which could mean then that we may see 5 Navi GPUs coming, which would make some sense. I mean, there being at least 2 is almost guaranteed, because in AMD and NVIDIA always try to release the GPUs in pairs, like the 1070 and 1080, the 2070, the 2080, because one is the cut down version of the other, Vega 56 and 64, for example. But 5, that seems a little surprising. Though it may make, because that's almost like a full product stack. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it's possible that some of those may just be coming out in months, or maybe we'll have 5 hardware announcements from AMD concerning Navi come E3 very shortly. And it would make some sense because they showed off an RX 5700 series. And if we are keeping the naming that they used back for the HD 5000 series, the HD 5000 series, then there would be a 5770 and 5750, which were the mid-range, a 5870 and 5850 for the high-end, And yeah, there was a 5570, I think. Were there 50? I don't remember if there were 5600 series in the HD. But still, it's... And if there is a 5800 series for Navi, that is announced. That could be important. Although that may also be coming, because some speculation I had seen was that these are the Navi 10 GPUs, and Navi 20 will be in the future, and will be much more powerful. But still, a 5800, an RX 5800 series could be interesting, if only because the 5700 series GPU they showed. And notice, they always said, if you watch the video, they always say 5700 series GPU. They never say that's the 5700. A lot of places I've seen just are talking about the 5700 GPU. It's like, no, it was a 5700 series GPU. That is what they always identified it as. So there may be two there, and we don't know which we were seeing. But anyway, if there is a 5800 series GPU or GPUs, then those in theory would be outperforming the RX 2070, which the 5700 series GPU was shown to, at least in Strange Brigade, which, yeah, that's not really the best. Because that game favors, that game in its Vulkan implementation really likes AMD. So, it's a best case scenario which makes you wonder what the worst case or average case is going to be. But anyway, why did I stop playing Siege of Centauri? What is it that I want to show you? Oh. Alright, I just need to do that. There you go. And hang on just a second, I need to mute the mic for a little bit. Alright, good. So, and I now need to move some stuff around. This is on the test system, not on the desktop, so that's why I need to do some things, including turn the mic. Hence why I muted it. So, they released what you need to play, and I bought a copy of Quake II a while ago on GOG. They released what you need to play Quake II with NVIDIA's remaster of it, basically. So if you come here, you can see the different things. And one thing that's going to drive me a little nuts. I'm not really going to play the game that much, but I want to show it. Because, why not? And my mind just kind of turned off. One thing that's a little annoying, there is a little bit of a lag in the audio, and it does mess with me. Wait a minute. I forgot to mute the television. So I could actually turn off the stuff. I'm just easy. Keep it nice and simple for me.
Establish communications. Priority Alpha. 80% failing with Central.
Super need to turn that down. Alright. I'm sorry, it's just so loud in my ears. But that, although that's actually kind of, well, it's not surprising. That the glass is no longer having the reflections or the transparency to it, which in theory that's something that you could have it do because this is the process the physics set correctly for it. But let's mess with some of these things so you can see that's on. That's what I mean. So I have that on, and if I turn this up, it does drop. And this is on the RTX 2080 in case you were wondering. If we turn off the denoiser, this is more or less what you actually need. So we use that noise because it's not a huge enough race to actually have something to look at that. Yeah. Eventually, the ray tracing hardware developed by NVIDIA or AMD or Intel or someone else easy enough to handle all this without needing a denoiser. But for now, yeah, you need turn off the textures. So this is basically just what the lighting is. That's why they have this option. Okay, looking at that, I have a feeling that's it is not. Yeah, how this got brighter is not the like eye adjusting on the wall. It's more that it needs to figure out what.
80% failing vital sign track.
Let's actually turn that up to high. Still see it doing that. I'm gonna turn that back down to medium then, just for the performance. And you know, I'm a little curious. What happens if we do that? Okay. So this. Oh wow, that actually doesn't work. So this is what the game would look like without the ray tracing. And it looks like, based on the textures of the gun, this. Okay. Come on, you can do it. And turn the textures back on as well. Yeah, you can see that they really changed. It's not just ray tracing. I will show that too, because I have that. The original thing showing off ray tracing and path tracing actually. Uses ray tracing to enable path tracing, so it figures out the color. That's what this is. I think.
All pods launched.
Huh. What am I? Yeah, that was because you could see the thing there, and actually let me.
All pods launched.
So
Communications.
right there, like this is the ray tracer. Well, it's also so much brighter here because there is ambient light coming in from here. That is something that without the ray tracing you saw it, how it was so much darker. So this would be more accurate here. I could believe it if it's actually too bright, but anyway, let's go down here.
Reporting 80% failing vital sign track.
But that is it. But yeah, I could believe this. But also, I'm not noticing brightness changes when looking around. So that might be something. Okay, but yeah, so here we don't have the glass being transparent or okay, so that's supposed to be a reflection of that, but it's maybe that is accurate, but it's also very the reason why this wouldn't be like that is because probably the guy that did this stuff, the proof of concept thing, he did. Oh yeah, you can see with the date and time in the corner. He didn't change any of the graphics. NVIDIA did. All the guy who did this work did was replace the render. So it's using ray tracing. This stuff was basically identical to what the RTX version had. All you did was change the rendering. Use ray tracing to feed into a path tracing view, but it's like this is what this game with ray tracing looks like. The thing NVIDIA made is what the game looks like with ray tracing and a lot of other ones. So I'm sorry, I don't want people to forget that because some people probably will think that, oh, so if we just enable ray tracing, it looks better. Ray tracing is not a magic look better button. Although they did that. Oh,
Reporting 80% failing on soundtrack.
I got him. Now. Stay in the Light horror game, yeah. That's using ray tracing, and NVIDIA is promoting that because it'll currently they're the only ones that allow DXR to be run on their GPUs and the ones with ray tracing. Though it's possible that AMD will announce new stuff. The E3 announcement. Maybe Navi. There's some speculation from some patents that were filed by AMD a while ago that, and it's possible that Navi and RDNA is what the patents were for, that they may be changing up how the hardware design enough that it may not be especially hardware accelerated ray tracing, but could be much better able to handle ray tracing. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But anyway, they're promoting that because it uses ray tracing. To be honest, I'm not all that impressed because it's like it's a game that has random generated maps, and now by using ray tracing, then it's like, oh, it doesn't, not relying on the pre-baked lighting anymore, and that could be wrong. You know, it doesn't always have to be wrong, but it's also like, well, ray tracing is simpler when you're taught. Not that I've ever been taught this, but when you're taught how to make a lighting and a graphics engine, you're first taught how to do ray tracing because it's easier than a rasterization system. There.
Reporting 80% failing on soundtrack.
So, yeah, it's like, yes, when NVIDIA said in the thing that it's easier, it's like, yeah, but that's been true for decades. You're not bringing NVIDIA to it, that's making that possible. I don't know oh, yeah, there we go. So yeah, we may, the game comes to me, but I'm just, it's like, it seems like, hey, it's ray tracing, we have to talk about it and talk up about it because it's awesome and everything, and blah, blah, blah. And this is just me talking, just my personal opinion. It's like, yeah, it's ray tracing a game to do something that many other games have been doing for years without issue. I want to go back. I want to see how the water looks. So, like, yeah, it's impressive and all, but it's also...
Established communications below the output. Reporting 80% failing on soundtrack.
Although it is also a one-man team. One-man show. What it said. So that's pretty cool. I can see how that would help. Like I said, using ray tracing, that's right. But that's also in the case that you use like already had. close range, you don't. F1 just tells you what to do. Oh, only 6 more kills. Which that's different. What was in the other thing? Mainly, there's just less. There seems to be much more in the other game. See what that actually looks like by doing this. Sort of.
Reporting 80% failing by the sidetrack.
But still, there's on here. You really don't see that movement so much. A little bit in reflections, but it's very flat. That is very interesting. See how that reflection is very solid. Maybe it's just okay, yes, that does help. So it still was seeing a lot of the noise. The noise wasn't standing out so much in the reflection, which had me get really close. I don't know what caustics are. I wish I did. I don't want to just pick it up now. I am just playing a little bit at this point. Actually, that.
Any squad leaders, this freak locked to emergency.
That effect there, which I'm actually.
Reporting 80% failing by the
I
sidetrack.
remember what the caustics are. I don't know what that was doing. Oh, that's what it does. Oi, that's. Come on. Let's go. Okay, that's that. See that? 0 frame time. Huh. That's not right. Instance entry, PVH update. I'm pretty sure that's what. Sorry. Just getting a text message. PVH, I'm pretty sure that's what I'd seen people explain. That's what RT cores accelerate the figuring out the PVH stuff. Update environment. Direct lighting, indirect lighting, on to 3 milliseconds. That's just the time it takes for them to bounce around. Yeah, that wouldn't take too long. Direct and indirect lighting. God, with the speakers. Not much would change there. Wouldn't have too much. Huh. That also kind of weird how there's that cutoff right there. Is that? Huh. That's a very hard line there. Why? Because I mean that doesn't seem really like that's visible. Illumination further. So it's gone here. Oh yeah, we also have this.
Reporting 80%
This
failing
is
while sidetracked.
by that. So I'm guessing that this is the cutoff of that, but this shouldn't. Doesn't this not mean it's ray tracing? I'm just because that's a hard line that doesn't. That it's not like it's matching up with the edge here. Cause look at this. This makes no sense. This almost looks like this was already figured out. Because it's like, why is this so much brighter? Okay, that's a light, then that's lit up, but why is this one, or this one even, that is still in line, not being lit up? This bothers me. I'm wondering if this is cheating. I don't know. Because if I was using cheating, I don't really know. Although, and then look at this. Because that's the same light. It's illuminating that perfectly. It's not illuminating this. Perfectly this somewhat. This looks kind of accurate. That doesn't. What's going on? Huh. Well, anyway, I'm now an hour. I should stop. Oh, and look here. And up here. Yeah, this is something wonky. And I get that globalization's off, but it still makes me wonder why this would be happening. Okay, even at low, it's still there. And at high, it is still there. It is purely. Huh. And there is nothing there to explain.
Remaining player teams engaged in primary and secondary objectives.
I don't know. I do not know. But that does
Reporting 80% failing while sidetracked.
quite see, this makes some sense. That it's noisy here because some of the ways you get the lights and you don't hold well. You got stuff that should be the noise away is here. It's like now it's all the same. So it's all the same lighting. So it's like this is just that's I do not know. Anyway, I'm gonna be stopping because I do have things I need to do, like working on the formatting for the Shadow of the Tomb Raider thing. Which, yeah, I mean, it's, I already said, the 1070 and 1080 are, they did better than I was expecting with the ray tracing. You'll be able to see it hopefully before too long. The formatting will probably take me an hour and a half, 2 hours, so I should be able to have it up, have it submitted today, Friday. So maybe, I don't know how long it'll take to go through the editing, but who knows, maybe a week or two, it'll be up. I would think by the end of June, but I don't know. I really shouldn't even give that guess. But yeah, and I still have one more of those things to do, but I've got other stuff that'll be a higher priority. Yeah, that's probably the reason why it takes so long to do the performance analyses. Other things are higher priority, like game reviews. Those take a higher priority typically. One game I did actually put off doing to work on this one, work on the Tomb Raider one. Just because I had already started working on it, and it's a work that you want to be able to focus on because it's long and kind of repetitive. All right, so better stop this, get it reprocessing, and get to work on that HTML work. See you next time. Probably in Satisfactory. I don't know. It depends on how busy E3 makes me. Because like last week with Computex, it's just the whole, I want to be able to talk about the news in these streams. It's just what I want to do. Computex had a lot, and I didn't want something that would be stressful, where I need to focus on the game, which I do in Siege of Centauri. Satisfactory, not so much. So I do have that goal of talking about the news of the week that I've covered. So anyway, see you next time.